Hello and welcome, influencers. Hello and welcome to another episode with real, raw conversations to motivate and support leaders in the marketplace. This is Behind the Screen Business Confessions podcast. It's your girl here, Anika Cohen, and I want to welcome you to another amazing episode. I'm excited about what we're going to be talking about on today. Listen, networking gone wrong. Let's talk about it, right? This is Women's History Month. This is our last week celebrating women in business, women in careers, just women. Whatever it is that you are doing in life, you're making a change, you're making an impact, you're making a difference. You're following after the vision that God has given you. I salute you, Queen, because not just for this month, but every day that you wake up, every day that your feet hit the floor, every day that your eyes are open and you pursue after purpose, you are creating history in your life. Every day with a decision to do something different, to make a difference. You're creating history every day. And I want to remind you that your legacy is living. I want you to live out your legacy. So be intentional every day. How am I going to make a difference? How am I going to choose to show up and show out and be the light, be the hope, be the voice? Come on here, somebody. We choose to live here. We choose to be liberated, improve daily, be vivacious, and enlightened. And I have been talking to you all month and sharing with you my experience behind the screen and what it has looked like in different aspects of my life as I have been pursuing purpose, as I have been living out my purpose. When I said yes to the assignment, every day has to be an intentional step for me to make a difference. So I have to be willing, obedient, and follow the vision, not the crowd. And that's what I want to talk about to you on this episode, networking gone wrong. I believe that we need each other. We all need each other. I cannot build this brand. I cannot build this business. I cannot build this ministry on my own. Everybody needs somebody, and somebody needs you. And I know some of us, we're in that breaking point. We're in that breaking phase. I'm just tired of being tired, but I don't want you to give up, especially when you are networking, when you're being intentional with showing up, putting yourself in the right spaces and being intentional about making genuine connections, and then your feelings get hurt, and then you're offended. What do? That's what I want to talk about because we need each other. So I don't want you to miss out on opportunity because of an experience of networking gone wrong, because it happens. It's not talked about. It's talked amongst us, but it's not talked about. And I really want to have a genuine dialogue. And I want to bring you into my experience of what it's looked like to network. And I have had some great experiences where that relationship is now a sisterhood. It is us helping each other, learning from one another, having conversation, supporting one another, holding each other accountable, checking in. Come on here, somebody. So I've had experience with networking where those relationships have blossomed, they have flourished. But then on the opposite end, I've had networking experiences that almost caused me to walk away from it all. And that's what I want to talk about, because I know that I'm not the only one who has had a bad experience with networking, with wanting to genuinely connect, build authentic relationships, and then you're disappointed. And then you're offended. Your feelings are hurt. Let's talk about that. I remember when I first got started in business, and it's very important when we first get started in business to, again, show up and step outside of who and what we know. I say that all the time because it is essential to you growing. You can't grow in familiarity. So you have to step out of who and what you know in order to grow. But what happens when you encounter individuals and they have ulterior motives? What happens when you encounter those situations? And that's what I want to talk to you about. That has happened to me on more than one occasion, but I believe firmly today that it has definitely shaped me, and it allowed me to do some self introspection with my emotions and how to release what doesn't serve me or the vision. And I'm going to encourage you on today, my sister, to release what doesn't serve you or the vision. That includes individuals, right? That includes individuals who, again, do not align with the vision. You have now identified ulterior motive. The best thing that you can do for your sanity, for your peace of mind, is to walk away. And don't allow that situation, that experience, to cause you to become stagnant, to cause you to become complacent, or just totally give up on the vision because the networking, the connections are a barrier. We choose to live today. We choose to live today because those experiences only grow you. It has grown me. It has helped me to evolve. And so I want to share with you, when I first got started in business, I'm now a published author, and I want to be intentional with making genuine connections that are going to help me grow in business, because I don't know what I don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So I didn't know all of the aspects of growing my business. I'm learning. So I want to connect with individuals who have been doing what I'm doing longer. I want to learn from their experience. I want to learn. I want to gain the right resources and the tools that are going to be helpful to me growing the business, right? And so I joined this networking group. I will not disclose names, because this is not about demeaning or putting someone else down. This is about sharing my experience to be a light and to be a hope, to not cause you to get stuck if you encounter the same experience, but choose to live. Come on here, somebody. So I joined this networking group, and I showed up. My intentions was to show up and just connect, see who I can connect with and grow with in my business, because this is new to me. Everything about this experience is new to me. Me showing up at this networking event, I'm nervous. I don't know anyone in the room, right? We go through that. I don't know anyone in the room, but I'm here. So I have to be intentional. And I share, I was in this, we actually had to pay fees and pay dues to be a part of this networking event. And the purpose was for us to grow together in business, to be, again, have those resources and tools, have that accountability conversation, right? Because these are individuals who are growing in business. They are experts in their own right. And we can learn from one another and grow in business, right? And be profitable. Come on here, somebody. So I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to connect. I wanted to grow. And I wanted to learn from these individuals that can be a help to me. So I'm paying my dues. I am doing everything that I can do to be 100% committed. So I'm showing up to every networking meeting that we have. I'm showing up to the dinners. I'm showing up. I'm involved. And I invite these individuals, some of the individuals, I invited them to my newly annual I'm Every Woman's conference, right? I've talked about this conference. Well, I invited my networking peers to be a part of my annual event. So this is the second year and it sold out again. Okay. So I was super excited. The first one sold out. The second one sold out. I had new individuals coming from all over the world. We got people coming in from Richmond, from Maryland, from New York. I'm excited because I'm doing what I didn't think could be done. I'm doing it. And so this conference is a big deal for me. So again, I'm excited they come and these women had an amazing experience. I'm talking about they had an encounter with God because he showed up. I invited him there, right? I need him to be a part of everything that I do. And I don't apologize for that, right? This is a part of who I am. So the I'm Every Woman's conference, they came, they had a great experience. They were giving me such great feedback. One of the ladies even shared on social media, this was one of the best experiences that she ever encountered. And she met that sincerely, wholeheartedly. I was blown away. I was really in awe because, again, I'm doing something that I didn't think I could do. This is my second annual conference, sold out twice. I got new people coming in to be a part of this event. They're actually supporting me. This is amazing to me. I'm so humbled. I'm so thankful, right? And I'm meeting new people. I'm connecting. I'm growing. Well, after this encounter, I get a phone call from one of the networking owners. So she's the one that actually put this all together. She's one of the leaders and runs this networking company. So, okay, she calls me and she says, I hear that we were talking. So in our talking and having conversation, she called me and said, I want to talk to you about your conference. I'm like, oh, okay. She must heard that it was great. And that's good. Okay, she's great. Give me some feedback. I'm open to that. So we're on the phone and she says that um, I heard your event was churchy. Okay. Okay, God showed up. Um, and so I'm listening. I didn't say a word. I was listening. Um, and she goes on to say, I heard your event was churchy and I'm I don't know exactly the word because it's so long ago, but it got to a point where she said, you are not going to make it in the empowerment world if you continue to do that. And she was referring to me being churchy. She said, you are not going to make it in the empowerment world if you continue to do that. And I, again, did not say a word. And she began to talk about the differences between religious individuals and spiritual individuals. And again, I'm just listening. And we ended that call. I don't know how we ended that call, but we ended that call. And the only thing that I heard was, I'm not going to make it in the empowerment world because I'm too churchy. I'm not going to make it in the empowerment world because I'm too churchy. Although these individuals that showed up had an amazing encounter with God, they had an experience that was unforgettable. I'm not going to make it if I continue to do this. And I got off that call feeling defeated. I got off that call feeling like a failure. I got off that call and I immediately began to cry. Like, what did I do wrong? I'm not going to make it. And here's the thing. I looked up to this individual. She was someone that I admired. She is someone that I looked up to because in my eyes, she's been doing this for quite some time. So she's knowledgeable. So her words had power and they had meaning for me. Her words had power. They had meaning for me. And I took her words and I almost allowed her words to cripple me. I'm talking about for weeks. I pondered and I pondered and I pondered, and I was just rewinding the tape. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. And this individual then proceeds to say, allow me to coach you. She offers me the opportunity to coach alongside her in one of her programs. Um, and I was open to hearing about her program, but I already knew who I needed to link arms with to get the coaching that I needed for speaking. I already knew who I needed because my spirit connected with that individual. So I knew who I needed. But this particular lady, I told her, well, I'm planning on working with XYZ. And I told her why I plan on working with this individual. So I don't really need your coaching services at this time. This individual continuously proceeded to see, you need to coach with me. You need to do this with me after I've already made it clear of who I want to connect with. So that was it was beginning to rub me the wrong way. I'm beginning to say, okay, well, what is the motive here? Are you trying to, is your intention to sell me, to upsell me? Is that your whole intention, to upsell me? Or is this about networking? You've already told me I'm going to be a failure, right? And I'm still showing up and being committed to this networking, this group. I'm still showing up and being a part of this. But I got this in the back of my mind. So weeks go on, I'm beginning to feel like a failure. I'm not sure if I should even continue doing the I'm Every Woman's Conference. I'm second guessing everything that God has shown me for my business. But I allow the words of someone else to almost cause me to miss out. And for some of you, don't allow the words of someone else to cause you to miss out. And so when I begin to trust my discernment and trust the feelings that I was feeling in regards to this woman and her ulterior motives when it came to this networking, I separated myself. I made a decision to no longer indulge in this networking community because it was not serving me. It was beginning to have me second guess everything that I am doing. This is not empowerment. Now, here's the thing. There's a difference between criticism, constructive criticism, right? And just outright demeaning, belittling, being rude. There's a difference, right? And so when you just flat out tell someone you're not going to make it if you continue to do it that way, TD Jakes, hello, he brings God into his conferences. Juanita Bynum, there's other people who bring God into their conferences. What is so different that I'm doing it? Because it's a business conference, I can't bring God into it? No. So I quickly began to lean on my support. I went to my pastor and he said, Anika, God gave you the vision. And he said, don't allow yourself to become distracted by that seed, because that was a seed and I was watering that seed of doubt, of failure, of disappointment. That was her opinion, but I was watering the seed that she planted, whether it was intentional or not. That seed was planted and I was watering it. And it was up to me to stop watering that seed and redirect my focus, redirect my attention, redirect my commitment to God and the vision. Come on here, somebody. So I made a conscious decision to follow the voice of God, follow the vision. I disconnected myself from that experience, from that relationship, because it was not serving me or the vision. And I did that for no one but me. It was for my sanity. It was for my peace of mind. And I've had several different encounters since then that have been similar to that experience. I've met a worldwide coach. Again, I show up to a networking event, and this is out of town. So I'm showing up to this networking event. I'm actually a part of an event. So why not go and again socialize and be intentional about what I wanted to do? I wanted to learn. Um, this was all about learning how to pitch yourself, and how to have that solid call to action. Right. So this is in my early years. This is when I'm first getting started. I published my first memoir 2015. Exciting. So I had to position myself to learn all of these things. So I'm learning. I'm at another event, but now I'm networking. It was a part of the event. This lady, again, I know what her intentions was. She definitely wanted to sell, but I made it clear that I don't, I'm not investing in this sale, right, at this time. But we continued the relationship. We actually connected where it was very easy for us to talk. And I shared some things with her. And so we connected on a personal level. So although I did not want to do business with her, I definitely wanted to still have that personal connection because we connected. So we was talking outside of business, but then it always came back to a sale or an upsell when talking to this individual. And I'll never forget it. She said, because I kept declining respectfully, right? So then a conversation, we're on the phone, we're having a conversation. She's like, I just want to share with you. Um, I went down your timeline, and what do you do again? Who are you? What do you do again? I'm like, what do you mean? What do I do again? I am a business coach. At that time, I wasn't a business coach. I was still trying to figure that out. So all I was saying was that I was an inspirational speaker and an author at that time. Nothing business coaching or anything. So I just told her I'm an inspirational speaker and I am a published author and I do events. And that was pretty much it. So she says, I went down your timeline and I don't see an expert. What are you? What? I don't see an expert. What do you see? Again, I went quiet. God will have me go quiet. And those of you that really know me, I don't mind having a conversation. I don't mind having a conversation, but for whatever reason, in these particular moments in my life, God would literally take my voice away. I would just be dumb and mute. So I would have absolutely nothing to say. So she's telling me, she's like, I don't see an expert. I see a motivational speaker. You're more like a motivator. I don't see you inspiring. I don't see you as an expert. I said, okay. Well, thank you for your opinion. And it took me right back to my first experience. And I was like, are you kidding me? So this is not the relationship that's going to work. This is not going to work. Um, Again, that's her opinion. It could have been conveyed to me differently in order for me to receive it, to do some changes. Because although, again, I'm just getting started, I was open to that. Maybe I need to change things up so I can brand myself appropriately and effectively so I can show up the way that I want to be received, right? I was willing to take that constructive criticism. It's the way that she conveyed it to me that I did not like. And again, throughout the relationship, us getting to know each other, you continuously try to upsell me. After I decline respectfully again. So then we weren't aligned. We weren't connected. Not on the level that she wanted to be on. She wanted to do business with me. I wanted to just stay personal and get to know each other and just have that dialogue. So there was two objectives. There was two different agendas. So networking gone wrong, it is a thing. It happens all the time. And how do you respond to that? How do you get through that emotional turmoil? Because for me, it's emotional turmoil because it almost every time it gets me to that place to say, what am I doing wrong? So I begin to doubt myself. I begin to doubt everything that I'm doing. And I have to reframe and redirect my thoughts to say, just continue to keep learning and growing and linking arms with individuals that add value to your journey. They add resources, they add information, they add constructive criticism in a way that can be received. There's a way to talk to people. You don't have to talk down to people to get your point across because it won't be received. So what does it matter anyway, right? So these are things that I've learned in my journey of being an entrepreneur in the marketplace and being intentional with growing my business and growing my network. My peers are my network. I need my peers, right? And so I want to share with you just a few tips on what to do when networking, because again, we need each other. But what happens? What happens when you encounter that one individual? Because it's going to happen because not everybody's intentions are pure. You're in business to do business. Yes, right? But if you respectfully decline and there's still a connection, there's still communication, then let that be what it is or move on. And so I want to talk to you about how to effectively network, even when you have these encounters, even when the networking goes wrong. Don't make it personal. That's my tip for you, number one. Don't make it personal. It has nothing to do with you or what you are doing or not doing. That has everything to do with that individual's intentions with you. So you got to ask yourself, what are my intentions? That's the second point. How to effectively network, because you want to continue to show up. You want to continue to put yourself in the spaces that will grow your business and brand your legacy. You want to continue to grow your relationships. You want to continue to build your network. Absolutely. So you got to be intentional, right? So when you show up to any networking event, or you just showing up to a conference, you're showing up to go to some type of event, that's networking in itself as well. What are your intentions? Why am I here? Point number two. Point number one was you don't want to take it personal. So don't be emotional. Don't don't make it personal. Number two, what are your intentions? That's very important. What are your intentions when you show up? Why am I here? I always ask my clients that when they come to any live event that I do or virtual. I ask that question. What is it that you want to learn? Why did you show up? Why did you make the investment to be here? It's very important that we get clear about why we show up. If you don't know why you show up or why you are here in the first place, then that is mistake number one. You're operating with no clarity or direction. And you need clarity and you need direction. So what are your intentions? Why are you here? And when you get clear about why you show up and why you're there, that's your focus. That's your focus every time, right? So get clear about why you're showing up to these events, why you're showing up to these networking events. Be very clear about that. Why are you here? What do you want to seek out? What do you want to learn? What is it that you need to leave and walk away from to be able to do what you need to do to reach that goal? What are the intentions? Why are you here? Very important. Also, tip number three I want you to consider is show interest and sincerity. Although you want to get to the point, right? You want to have these conversations. You want to get to your intentions, why you're there, but be genuine. Show up with a genuine interest in that individual. Do your due diligence on, especially if you've been following them and you want to make a pitch, you want to connect or collaborate or partner with them in some way. Do your due diligence with just knowing who that individual is, what they do. So you want to show genuine interest, you want to be sincere, but you want to get to the point. This is what I'm thinking of, and be authentic in sharing what your intentions are. The first encounter, get to the point, right? Those are important. That's very important because if you don't get to the point, then you're going to allow that relationship. Again, nobody's not being clear about what the intentions are. Why are we having even a conversation? So you want to be genuine, you want to show interest and sincerity, but you want to get to the point of why you're even making this connection, why you're having this conversation to begin with. And be okay if it doesn't work out. You're not going to make everyone happy. You're not going to satisfy everyone, especially clients. Those of us who are service-based, those of us who are coaching, especially if we're coaching individuals who have to practice what we teach and implement, that can be a trial in itself because they make you responsible for what they don't do. Woo-hoo! They make you responsible for what they don't do. So again, I have learned a long time ago that my emotions do not serve me in the marketplace. That's why I have my moment, but I do not stay there. Because if I stay there, then I'm going to become crippled. I'm going to become stagnant. I'm going to become complacent. I'm now going to have pity parties. I'm going to stay in a place of despair. No movement is going to take place. So you're going to have your moments and release what doesn't serve you or the vision and move forward. Right? So if you heard nothing else that I said out of today's episode, influencer, what are your intentions? Be clear about what your intentions, why you're showing up. Get to the point, right? And choose to live. And I'll even add this when it comes to networking. Listen, don't just show up handing out your business cards or your infographic. That is not necessary. That's not networking. That's just you passing out your cards. You want to be intentional with who gets your card and why. And even put your picture on your card so people know who they was having that conversation with. I know it has your name and your info, but I'll be like, who is this? What did they do? So it's good to have your image on your business card. Those are just bonuses. Those are little things that I've noticed over the years that can help, again, having that relationship, because people will have the card and they'll be like, who is this? Who is that? I don't, even though it says your name, the name of your business, but it's nothing like knowing who was I talking to. You know what I mean? Anywho, so don't just pass out your business cards. You want people to have your business cards that will utilize them. Because what happens when you just passing them out, here you go, this is my business card, you move on to the next. They don't know who you are, what you do. They just have this card with your basic information. There was no connection there was even no conversation to say, do I need your services? Do I need what you are offering? Will it work for me? Right? So just don't go out passing out your cards. That's not going to get you anywhere. People are just going to dispose of them. Right? So you want to be intentional. Be intentional. Right? Be intentional and practice these behaviors. They will definitely help you to grow in business. So networking gone wrong. Networking helps you grow. Even those bad experiences, they help me grow. They have helped me to grow. It's helped me to be confident in who I am. It's helped me to, again, be firm and knowing what my intentions are and being respectful to other people to say, if I don't want to invest in what it is that you're offering, just say no. Right? So it has definitely helped me. Every networking experience that has went wrong, it's helped me. It's grown me. It's matured me. It's developed me. That's my perception. And you are going to have these encounters. They're not going to go anywhere. This is a part of your growth. This is a part of your life and experience as an entrepreneur. So choose to live, choose to be liberated, improve daily, be vivacious and enlightened. Listen, if you have not subscribed, subscribe, YouTubers. If you are not following me, Spotify listeners, go on, click the follow. And I look forward to next episode. Listen, we are almost complete with one full season. I'm excited. I'm excited. So we are almost one season complete. This has been a great season. If you ask me, I'm excited. So what is your takeaway from today's episode, right? What did you take away from this conversation? Right? I want to know that. Okay? All right. Until next time, choose to live.